What is going on, guys? It's Taylor Roberts, and welcome to Off the Deep End. If you're just joining us for the first time, we're in the middle of a Madonna deep dive where we are exploring Madonna's artistry through her music video, and live performances, which means new Madonna reactions until we reach the end of her discography. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that bell button so you get notification of when new videos drop here on this channel. Hop on over to Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, give me a follow. If you would like to get access to the full uncut version of this video, as well as tons of other exclusive Madonna bonus reaction content, exclusive album reactions that aren't even posted here on the channel. You can get access to all of that for only $5 a month on Patreon. There is a link down in the description, and that goes to help me keep doing these deep dive series. But guys, we are in American Life 2003, I believe. Let me double check here. Yes, 2003, American Life. How far are we going to stray from music? Music was a very interesting album, obviously. I mean, I wasn't really expecting the sound we were going to get from music. I mean, besides the fact that, she was collaborating with a French DJ, so I knew we were going to get a little of that new wave French sound into this that was heavy in the early 2000s pop scene. But are we going to stray away from that sound in this album? Is it going to be completely different? Or are we going to do what Madonna normally does and just take a sound and make it her own? I guess we are going to find out, guys. But without further ado, let's jump into the album. And we're opening up with a title track here. Let's go. American Life. Tell me about this American.
I have to change my name. Will it get me far? Should I lose some weight? Am I gonna be a star?
Definitely bring those synthy vibes back.
I tried to be a boy. I tried to be a girl. I tried to be a mess. I tried to be the best. I guess I did it wrong. That's why I wrote this song. This type of modern life is not for free.
Definitely playing with that stereo space.
American life. American
Okay.
life. I live the American dream. American dream. You are the best thing I've seen. You are not just a dream. American life. I tried to stay ahead. Tried to find a friend. Tried to stay ahead. Tried to stay on top. Fuck it. Do I have to change my
Fuck
name?
it. Love that word.
Should I lose some weight? Am I gonna be a star? Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I'm drinking a soy latte. I get a double shot. It goes right through my body, and you know I'm satisfied. I drive my Mini Cooper, and I'm feeling super duper. You, they tell me I'm a trooper, and you know I'm satisfied. I do.
Okay, not a bad start. Not a bad start. She is definitely leaning back into that heavy synth sound. But I really like how she's playing with the stereo channels production wise on this song, especially when we have a lot of the heavy synthy stuff going on center and then sort of more to the left, but then you still have some more of that kind of raw authentic sounding, like the acoustic guitars channeled over onto the right, and it's just like a simple melody loop playing. It takes it away from this feeling of kind of this new wave sound, But then, on the other side, it deals with that sort of old school classic sound. And it feels like a little bit what this song is talking about. The music in line, feeling like trying to find your place in this new society, trying to like fit in, figure out your identities. Basically, kind of what I interpret the song um, being, and the song does this, the music backs that up as well. Like I said, we're getting bits and pieces of the new sound that's coming out, especially during this time, and then a little more of that authentic sound with the guitar and things like that. But interesting opening. Um, I guess we're gonna figure out if the whole album sounds like this.
In the neighborhood, they like the smell of it in Hollywood. How could it hurt you when it looks so good? Shine your light now.
Okay.
This time it's got to be good. You get it right now, yeah. 'Cause you're in Hollywood. So good. I lost my memory in Hollywood.
Let's go.
I've had a million visions, bad and good. There's something in the air in Hollywood. I tried to leave it, but I never could. Shine your light now, Hollywood, 'cause you're in Hollywood. 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 Check it out.
A lot of switch ups in this too. Okay.
Shine your light now. This time it's got to be good.
I lived in LA for a little while, for those of you who don't know. And I can say that Hollywood, LA, it's definitely a double-edged sword. I mean, looking at it from the outside in, it looks like a fucking great place, but man, once you're in there, and I don't know if this is just everybody's experience. I'm sure it's not everybody's experience. I'm sure there's people out there that are like, yeah, I love LA. Like, that's great. But for me personally, like, LA was where I had always wanted to be as a creative. And then when I moved out there and started living there, it started sucking the soul out of me. And I'm not talking about, a good time on a Saturday night at 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm talking about, like, there's something about it that there's a definitely an underbelly of seediness, and people wanting things from you all the time. What can you do for me? What can you do for me? All that. But I've talked about LA so much, especially during my Lana Del Rey deep dive, because she loves the fuck out of LA. But yeah, I really like this, how it feels almost like Ray of Light, because Ray of Light is so kind of upbeat and fast paced, but you do have those moments in the song where she kind of slows it down a bit before the kick drum bops back in and it just blasts you out of this little hypnosis that she had. And like it does create two very different vibes, and Hollywood, like I said, does have two very different vibes. So I love how the music is sort of matching the psychological. I guess it's more of a psychological match with the lyrics and what she's expressing in the lyrics herself, if that makes any sense. But I'm gonna heart that one, Hollywood, hearting it right now, because I fuck with that one. I'm so stupid.
'Cause I used to live in a fuzzy dream, and I wanted to be like all the pretty people.
Oh, that was.
I'm so stupid.
Okay.
'Cause I used to live in a fuzzy dream, looking for something. Everybody, please don't try to tempt me. It was just greed, and it won't protect me. Don't want my dreams adding up to nothing. I was just looking for. Everybody's looking for something.
I'm So Stupid definitely was, that 90s grunge rock aesthetic mixed with that new, again, French wave sound that Madonna has been playing with for the last 2 albums. I don't know if I liked it too much. It was an all right song. I loved Madonna's vocals on it, especially toward that end when she kind of gives us a little bit more emotion, especially in those higher notes. But that one kind of just felt a little flat for me.
There are too many questions. There is not one solution. There is no resurrection. There is vibration. You make me feel. You make it shine. There are too.
Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness gracious. Hold up. Let me take that back a bit. That was just like, let me take that back.
Vibration. You make me feel. You make it shine. There are too many options.
Hey, let's go.
No consolation. I have lost my illusions. Got you under my skin.
Yeah, that background vocal,
Under my skin.
that's just seeping underneath the instrumental. I love it.
Profusion. You make me feel. You make me know. And love intention. You make me feel. You make me shine.
Yeah, this album is definitely music elevated. It's like Madonna on music was like tipping her toes in between that synth sound and that more kind of country sound, and now she's just like, you know what, fuck it, we're going all in, and it's just doing what she wants. The production on some of these songs is crazy, and the amount of layers we're getting as far as like different sounds is really nice because it doesn't keep the song monotonous. It kind of throws things in there where it spices things up a little bit. But the sequencing in some of the synths and the arpeggios that we get in the tracking itself is really, really nice, especially like in Love Profusion, like that very last minute when we got the like that arpeggio was like really, really nice, complimentary to the rest of everything. And of course, Madonna's vocals were great on that as well. I'm gonna have to heart Love Profusion. I enjoyed that one too. Again, the sequencing, one key.
Had so many lives since I was a child, and I realized how many times I've died. I'm not that kind of guy. Sometimes I feel shy. No one's telling you how to live your life, but it's a setup until you're fed up. This world is not so kind. People trap your mind. It's so hard much better at night. I feel closer to the light. Now I'm gonna try to improve my life. Nobody knows me. Nobody knows me.
Those hits.
Nobody knows me.
Bop, 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 bop.
You know me.
This one felt a little stale to me too. It feels a little stale to me, and I don't know if it's because the lyrics come across a little bit elementary, and then again, pop music lyrically can be somewhat like simple and elementary, but we know, at least I know that Madonna can be a better songwriter than that. And as much as I love that she's decided to fully like leap into this synth heavy production, I haven't seen anything yet that allows us to have a little bit of a break from it. And it's starting to kind of sound wise come together as it's starting to bleed itself together a little bit. There hasn't been really anything to be like to switch it to give you a little bit of a break from that sound and be like, oh, okay, like it's nice to have a refresher every once in a while. And I like when artists do that in the sequencing of their albums. If they're gonna lean into a sound heavy, like 100% completely go for it. But maybe throw one or two songs in here, and maybe there are, and we just haven't hit it yet. But sequencing wise, in the first 5 songs, like it's just been that heavy sound. But yeah, Nobody Knows Me was okay. I really do like the take that we're getting on this album, though. At least from the way I'm deciphering it, is kind of that role and that identity role in society or in Hollywood or in celebrity culture in itself. And being a celebrity and trying to find out where you fit in. It's not something that I can technically relate to because I'm not a celebrity or anything like that, except in my own mind. But, as a person in general, everybody's trying to fit in life and in society and figure out, what qualities we have or who trying to be who we're not or whatever, just to fit a certain crowd or to fit a certain demographic and whatever. So I can relate to it on that level. And this might just be the song that I was talking about where we're like, okay, we need a little bit of a break here.
You said it there, anyone can see. What is it with you? You silly thing, just take it from me. Nothing fails. No more fears. Nothing fails. You washed away my tears. Nothing fails. No more fears. Nothing fails. Nothing fails. I'm not religious, but I feel so moved. Makes me wanna pray.
Oh, okay. Something to perk you up a little bit, finally. Yeah, that choir is a nice touch. I love that. What's interesting? This being an album that is 3 years apart from music, is how stylistically in the same lane it is as music. I mean, if you were to take from the songs that I've listened to so far, if you were to take any of these songs and you were to throw them on music and told me they're from that album music, I would believe you because it almost, I mean, not almost, it sounds exactly like the sound and from everything from music. Yeah, a little bit more heavy into that synth element, but still, I mean, I'm surprised why didn't she just make music a double album? You know, if she has all of these songs here, instead of putting out another album 3 years later with the same exact sound as music, why not make it just a double album? It's like I like American Life because I like the message that we're getting here, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like a departure from the last album. You know, a lot of the Madonna albums we've listened to, each album has sounded different, um, and has been a departure from each, and we see that build up and that growth through her artistry for those albums. But from music to American Life, I'm not really seeing that at all. It's too similar for me to be like, oh yeah, no, I can see a distinct difference here. Like I said, if we were to put these 6 songs on music, or if music were to be put on this album, I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference. And I honestly think she should have just done a double album. Nothing fails. It failed to um to make me like it. Except for that small choir part, it didn't really do too much for me.
I got to save my baby because he makes me cry. I got to make him happy. I got to teach him how to fly.
She really likes that stutter
I
effect
want
in
to
these songs,
take him
though.
higher. There's nothing to fear.
Beautiful harmonies. Got that going. We always know Madonna's got those harmonies on point.
Will take us away from here. Sometimes it's such a pleasure. Sometimes I wanna tear it all down. In the blink of an eye, everything could change. Say hello to your life. Now you're living. This
Oh yeah.
is it.
Now we're living, baby.
It's a brand new day. It was time to wake up from this dream. This dream. I know the road looks lonely, but that's just Satan's game. And either way, my baby will never be the same. And I know that love will change us forever. And I know that love will keep us together.
Okay. Using love as a form of escapism, huh? Love is a powerful drug, people. Love is a powerful drug. Yeah, like I said, not a huge departure from music so far. Everything that I've heard sounds like it could be part of music. Not gonna lie, I'm a little bummed out. I'm a little bummed out. You know, I liked in the beginning so that we did get a little bit, or that we, we got that sound, and I was like, okay, cool. That's like a nice little like way to open it up, give us an idea of, kind of where we're going to take the album, maybe a nice little bridge from music to bring us into this new sound or whatever. But I wasn't expecting the sound to be through this whole entire album, because now it just sounds like I'm listening to music again, you know? But we'll see how the rest of the album pounds out here.
I'm not myself when you're around. I'm not myself standing in a crowd. Jesus Christ, will you look at me? Don't know who I'm supposed to be. Don't really know if I should give a damn when you're around.
I love the folk vibe of this.
I always wish that I could find someone as beautiful as you.
Organ in there. Very religious sounding elements in this.
I'm not myself standing in a crowd. I'm not myself and I don't know how. Don't know myself right now.
Right, a little bit of change, in the vibe here. I'm digging it. Very, very folk inspired song. I loved her harmonies and her vocals in this. It just adds to that kind of authentic vintage element that this song gives off. So I'm gonna go ahead and heart it for that, just because the vocals and the harmonies and the layering of those were great. Very, very religious type song, but again, dealing with identity. And feeling out of place and wanting a sense of belonging. And, we kind of explore that through trying to be somebody else. And then, through love. And now we're dealing with, trying to fall to religion to figure out, Jesus, help me out here. Where do I fit in? It's a process, it's a process of this character or Madonna that we're seeing, and the different avenues that she's willing to take to kind of figure out her place in the world.
There was a time I was happy in my life.
Okay.
There was a time I believed I'd live forever. Nobody else would ever take the place of you. Nobody else could do the things that you could do. No one else, I guess, could hurt me like you did. I didn't understand, I was just a kid. Oh mother, why aren't you here with me? No one else saw the things that you could see. I'm trying hard to dry my tears. Yes, Father, you know I'm not so free. I got to give it up, find someone to love me. I got to let it go, find someone that I can care for. I got to give it up, find someone to love me. I got to give it up, I got to let it go, I got to give it up. Oh mother, oh father, I got to give it up.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling that one. I don't know. Sequencing wise, I just feel like we've we've just been in the same steady stream. You know, there hasn't been too many twists and turns as far as what we're getting sonically, or any variation really of anything. Like I said, I mean, even with the last two songs or the two songs down, it still feels like all the songs that were probably written for music that just didn't make the cut for music. So she's like, you know what? I got all these songs. Let me throw them on another album, because I've seen what she can do, and I've seen the growth from album to album. I'm just not seeing it on this one. And it's not that it's a terrible album, you know. It's got its highs and it's got its lows, but it's very just kind of average. Um and I think it's because it does feel so in sync with music that it just, like I said, it just sounds like I'm listening to music all over again. You know, if you were to tell me this, if I were to listen, you know, being not a Madonna fan at the time, and listening to this and listening to music, and you were to tell me, oh, and just let both albums play and just tell me, oh, it's music, I would have believed you, you know? Now, this one sounds promising. It's already vastly different.
I'm gonna wake up, yes and no. I'm gonna kiss some part of. I'm gonna keep this secret. I'm gonna close my body now.
Okay, not too different. We went right back into that. See, I'm loving the cinematic elements because it's different.
I'm gonna avoid the cliche. I'm gonna suspend my senses. I'm gonna delay my pleasure. I'm gonna close my body now.
How'd you know I was gonna laugh? See, Die Another Day was promising because we had switched it up with the elements we had within the production. I mean, the string section itself gave it that very cinematic feel, which I think would have been beautiful if the whole thing was a little bit more cinematic. But then we went right back into that electronic sound, and I mean, it's definitely more of the likable songs so far for me on this album. Not enough to where I would heart it, you know, but I don't know. I think you can kind of see it in my face by now that I'm starting to get bored. And it's kind of been like that since we hit the halfway mark, where I'm listening, but I'm just kind of like, you know, it's kind of tiring, to be honest.
I want the good life. What I want is to find my place. Breathing children's face. That's what I want. I go round and round just like a circle. I can see a clearer picture when I touch the ground. I come full circle to my place, and I am home. I am home.
Okay. Okay.
I can see a
Yeah, again, bringing back those strings. I like that. It's different.
I come full circle to my place, and I am home. I am home. I go round and round just like a circle. I can see a clearer picture when I touch the ground. I come full circle to my place, and I am home.
Better. Better. That song was better. Still not the greatest closer. I mean, it's great closer as in we're getting a conclusion to the overall like identity crisis type thing we have going on here. Um, going through everything, the identity, really, if you just bring it, go round and round, but you find yourself when you're back home, like, that's where your sense of belonging is. That's where, you find that little safe circle there. But American Life, guys, American Life. I've said it so many times, so this kind of like roundup that I do at the end of the albums, it's probably going to be repetitive for you, but yeah, I it started off promising. I really liked it, but I liked the I thought we were gonna kind of bridge a bit. I was fine with the sound for like the first couple songs. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's bridge it over a bit because, music was so distinctly different. Um, that I was like, yeah, okay, we'll bridge it into whatever we're gonna get into next. But then it just felt like a continuation of music. It started to get tiring a bit because it's like, okay, I've listened to, the same sound over and over again. Oh yeah, there were some songs where we introduced some other synth elements, which I mentioned was great because the song itself doesn't get monotonous sometimes, but it's just the overall concept and the overall sonic of the sequencing of music that we're getting on this album. It's like the next song is like, oh, okay, more synth. Oh, the next song, okay, same thing. It gets tiring. There isn't a huge rerouting or you know diverting of different types of sound. We get a little bit, we get peaks of it in Die Another Day and Easy Ride, but not to the point of where like it makes a huge significant difference. Um so yeah, for me, final thoughts wise on this, it was a little boring. It was boring. It sounds too much. It sounds exactly like music. It sounds like these are just songs that were either not didn't make the cut for music, or she was like, I like these songs, but they didn't fit on music, so let's just make another album and put these songs on here. And it's kind of disappointing because I've come to know Madonna as someone who has, transformed album to album. And that's what's really impressed me, is that from each album from the beginning of her career has had a different direction, or she's experimented with something different. But this one, it just feels like she's playing it safe. And I know music was a big hit, and maybe that had some factored into it, like, oh, okay, they love this sound, let me go back into it again. But it's just monotonous, and it got boring, and it's not my favorite Madonna album. In fact, I probably have to put it on the lower list, Probably toward the bottom of my list of Madonna albums, my Madonna album ranking from all the albums that we listened to so far. But to say that doesn't mean there weren't some highlights on it. I liked Hollywood just because I could relate to the song a bit. And I loved what it was talking about, and love Profusion, and then Ecstatic Process. And really, I just loved Ecstatic Process because of her vocals and her harmonies, and how it does have that vintage kind of folk sound to it. But everything else, it's just it wasn't a great album. I say that for me, it wasn't anything to write home about. To be honest, if I wasn't doing a reaction video to this and didn't have to listen to all the songs, there's probably a lot of here, I would have listened to the first like 30 seconds of it and then just skipped it, because I've been like, nah, you know what I mean? But of course, I listened to all of these songs for the reaction because you never know. But if I wasn't doing a reaction to this would be one of those albums where just like every song, every like 10 or 15 seconds, I probably would have just hit the skip button and gone to the next one. So I'm just gonna I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. I know there's probably people out here who love this album. For me, it's just not for me. It just feels like another same old music album. And she should have just made a double album for music instead, and then fit all these songs. And then it probably would have been too long of an album. It would have still felt monotonous. But those are my thoughts on it, guys. If I give it a ranking out of 10, I'd probably give it like a 3 or a 4 out of 10. But let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments, guys, what you like, what you dislike about it. Favorite songs, least favorite songs. Do you agree with my opinion, or do you think I'm a total fucking asshole for thinking that it's a boring album? Let me know down in the comments. All of that. If you're watching this on Patreon, thank you for being a patron member. I truly do appreciate your support, guys. If you're watching this on... Shout out to all of our new YouTube subscribers. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for watching the content. We're happy to have you here on this channel, guys. And that is all I got for you today. So until next time, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you then.